All right, guys, welcome back. This is take two because the microphone died. At Davis Off-Road, wrapping up some finishing touches on this square body, which actually happened to be one of my personal trucks for many years. The square body kick is obviously taken off pretty strong. This customer wanted to buy one of our others that he missed out on. This truck came along and it fit his bill, other than it was too tall. Not only was it too tall, he wanted a way to get in and out of it. So he opted to lower the lift, add Powersteps. It still has the track bar system that Davis Off-Road sells and makes. Crossover steering. He wanted Fox reservoir shocks. He wanted the 35 16 wide look, which has become very popular. So you can see the wheel and tire package is killer. It got all new springs, bushings. It still has the crossover. It still has the track bar. Of course, like you see, the Fox shocks. New U-bolts, blocks. It was already disc brake converted, but that was just done. Drive shafts are 1410, Dana 60 front, 14 bolt back. So he actually ended up with a better truck. The truck he wanted was a half ton, but he was literally buying it for the look, and now he's got a 1 ton. So the truck did not have a hitch. We added a hitch. One of the other things when you do the Powersteps that has to take place is the saddle tank has to go away. Saddle tanks on these 80s model trucks and 70s model trucks were a big controversy back in those days, because if you got hit in the side, it was a safety issue. The truck could explode, catch on fire. They tried buying them back. There really wasn't a recall back then to do. So my grandfather's truck actually tried to get bought back by Chevrolet because of that. So now it has a rear tank in the frame rails, such as a Blazer or Suburban would have. So not only is it better looking because you don't see it, it's also more practical. This truck already had the paint job. One of our good family friends that owns a body shop had already done the body and paint work years ago. It's a shaved side. There's no gas door, so you'll see how we did that. That took a lot of effort on the shop's behalf to make it work, but we want to do something extra for this customer because he was patient. He wanted the Powersteps to get in it. He needed the truck to be lower to get in it. It was 12 inches and 40s, so considerably lower. The steps are amazing. The interior was already redone in this truck. Daniel finished off a bunch of little bolts and nuts and hardware, getting ready to ship it out to Florida, and lo and behold, the battery goes dead. Well, it wasn't a battery issue, it was an alternator issue, so the customer's getting a new alternator and battery on us. Again, just to try to make the customer happy, make sure everything's good. He's going to receive a cool square body. So Brian's over here putting a new suspension under this classic Ford for one of our customers, and I'm going to get him to kind of go over the steps and the details on that.
What's going on? We'll walk back over here. We've got the Powersteps done while it was here. That's something, you know, they don't offer in these year models, but set up, you know, works off of door pin switches, just like, you know, if you were to get it for a newer model. Everything's clean, you know, tight, mounted to the body, not to the frame, so you don't get all that rattling and vibration. And then work individually, just like the new steps do, you know, for each door. But like I was touching on, you got to go to the Blazer tank, get rid of the saddle tanks for that. This one particularly didn't have a gas door on either side. It was done like that on purpose, but cutting one end of the side would have been a pain. Putting it into bed, you know, wouldn't have been horrible, but it still, you know, would be kind of difficult. So we come up with this solution. Everything's tied in right there. Hides away. Pretty slick setup for sure.
Yep. So that was the first time, and those are LED taillights, so they light up really cool. But again, the last one they did, they put it inside. The one before that actually had a fuel cell. Everybody does something a little different. One of them that we've seen even had a gas door at the back of the truck, which most people wouldn't know that wasn't right, but it's just odd if you like square bodies. And one of the things when this truck was being built that I was very specific was I ordered a 70s body style side for one, 80s for the other, because they switched from left to right in those years. So I wanted no gas door. It wasn't even my truck at that time, but the customer was like, hey, do it your way. So I wanted no gas door. I didn't want to have to Bondo it and fill it. So you always filled it under the fender well, but this was ideal to upgrade for the customer. Then we had to work around getting the hitch in there to work with the tank, and that turned out really good too. Like I said, LED taillights, that's not a bad thing. Having it hidden is awesome. It's even got one of the new ones where you don't even have a gas cap, so it works really good. And he'll hit the taillights. The taillights are awesome. Nice and bright, so shouldn't ever have to worry about bulbs. And you if you watch the other videos, I'm not real good with bulbs. So this should be pretty much good unless you mess something up along the way. Cool truck. Really always has stood out. Anything else you can think of, Brian, on it? They basically just went over all the bolts, nuts, hardware, made sure everything was tight, but most of it got changed by changing the lift kit out. And again, a lot of people would just say, hey, buy what you get. The truck's done, take it home, enjoy it. But this was a good customer. We had a couple conversations by phone. We had a couple conversations by text, and he was understanding it was a little bit of a time-consuming thing. Thankfully he was, because it was time-consuming to do the things he wanted. But he got a much more practical size truck. Brian's daughter actually has one that's almost identical, and it's still drivable this way. Not that it wasn't on 40s, but he wanted it one way. We decided to make it the way he wanted it, and that's just a little extra customer service that they can do down here at the shop, and that we offer to the customer too. And he's going to end up with exactly what he wanted when he takes it home. And he's a car guy, so he should be able to appreciate all the extra effort that they went to. So anything else you can think of on it?
No, it's pretty much it. It's like I said, it's one of those things that if I was going to build one, which I did for my daughter, I would build it the exact same way. I'm doing another one for my middle daughter right now, long bed, just like this one, and it's going to be built just like that. When I could afford it, that's the way I wanted it built, and that's the way we're going to do it. So it's really neat to be able to bring them out of the shop like that, quite often, and it's.
And the step setup's very popular. So
yeah,
again, we'll pop the door open one more time just to show how slick it is. But it's I'm 250 pounds and it's sturdy. It's not a problem. And don't know how big he is because I've never met him. But if he's bigger, he's going to be fine. If he's smaller, he's going to be fine. But it's a nice step because these trucks are awkward to have to lunge up in. So if you're able to step here, you can grab here, you can grab here, you can grab here, you can grab here. It's just a nice step, and it looks a lot better than a Nerf bar, which we've done on the last couple also. We had to do a Nerf bar. Nothing bolts on these trucks, just FYI. You cannot order a Jegs, JC Whitney, Lund, any brand that fits these trucks proper, because you will either drill them and then they're going to rip the rocker panel out, or you'll go to the frame and they're going to be in the wrong position. So they just finished one of the big trucks on 40s. The last one got a nice set of steps with custom brackets also, which with the machine they can laser those out. It's no problem. But this right here is the slick deal. Like it's
with 8 inches on it. It's 8 inches and 35.
yeah. So you got the LED light kit.
LED light, but it's 8 inches 35, and you can get in this thing. No hand. Instead of this, and then every one of these has got a wore out column. And if anybody owns a square body, they know what a pain in the butt it is to tear the column down and tighten all the pins back up. So that one, I'm not tall at all, but that's easy enough to get in and out of with no hands. So if you got to grab the door handle, it's, you can get in there for sure.
It makes for a good fitment, and again, it's not cheap. And people call and message, and you're going to comment on this video. How do I get those steps? What can you do? We really need the truck here to do it. They can't really sell it out the box properly. Between maybe your rocker panel's rusty, maybe your rocker panel's been replaced, maybe you have a body lift. The tank situation is always different. There's not a part number for that kit, unfortunately. So you can buy a kit, you can make brackets, you can wire it, you can adapt it, you can figure it out. But if you drop it off, they already have it figured out, whether it be for Ford, old school Chevy. I don't think they've done an old Dodge, but that could be done as well. It's a matter of pin switches, some positives and negatives, and the wiring has to happen. That's probably the easiest part. The brackets, though, they make them, ship them and powder coat them, bring them back, make sure everything's fitted. And again, there's just not been two that are alike. Different gas tank, different position, different style, different condition of the undercarriage of the truck. There's a lot of factors. I'm sure there's others, but there's a lot of factors that go into that.
We've done quite a few of these, and even though I haven't set up to use, to cut out the pieces, I've had to modify each individual piece for each one, like he was saying. Rocker fitment, cab corner fitment. If you bought your rockers, from Amazon versus if you bought your rockers from GM, that would make a difference. Just the way they fit, the way they're designed on the inside, all of that makes a difference. And I try to get the brackets as far out and as far down so you have as much step, and as much strength as possible.
And still hidden, because when that door's closed,
right,
it's not there. So it gives you the best look to keep the truck nice and tall and clean.
No Nerf bar look.
And no Nerf bar look.
Yeah.
So no holes in the rockers, no holes in the cab corners.
Right.
They've done a crew cab truck, the dually that Daniel's got on his channel. That worked out really well, but it does have the gas door in the bed, which is inconvenient.
We've done the 70s Suburbans, you know, Blazers. They're same deal, gas tanks in the back, not in your way. 78, 79 F-150s, you know, done that also a couple times, but their gas tank is, you know, not there either. So, you know, that helps out. You know, it's possibility it could be done, you know, with the tanks there, but there is no room to work with. And it's much cleaner look when you put the tank in the back.
Yeah. Well, a little bit of a lengthy video. Those steps, though, everywhere. It doesn't matter if it's TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We always get asked about it. Not the first ones to do it. We're one of the first people to install these back in 03, 04. We were installing Powersteps, but it was on a 03, 04 Super Duty, and it was out the box. And even then, things got cattywampus because some were negative ground, positive ground. The computer stuff changed. We've been through the whole gauntlet of these Powersteps over the years, but this is something you can't buy out the box. It's really custom. There's not much on this truck that's not custom, but with the track bar, with the crossover steering, it drives great. And any of these components you guys want, Brian and Daniel can accommodate and get you the parts sold. As far as the front end stuff goes, steps pretty much need to come here to get them done. It'll be worth the trip. Ship your truck here for all that matters. At least when you pick it up, it's going to be right. You don't spend weeks in your garage laying on your back scratching your head. But hate to see this one go. It's been a great one. It's about as good as they get, really. Yeah, he's gonna have a cool truck, nice 1 ton long bed and cool interior. And I'm sure there's something that's not done or not perfect, but you don't get square bodies that are that functional and that nice very often. That's for sure. And they've been under it, over it, and on top of it for the last month. And if we saw something, a screw, a bolt, it's been done. So that's how we like them to leave. Some of them don't get that attention because people rush it or they don't spend the money to do it that way. But this is a very clean, perfect finished product in our opinion. So thank you guys for watching. Plenty more square body content to come. The white and black diesel's getting ready to leave for Texas. We'll try to catch it before it leaves. He just got some finishing touches too. And Davis Off-Road there with the phone number on the sign, and hit them up for all your parts needs.